you've been paying attention, you know that sleep is very important. Today, I'll talk about a product that has improved my sleep. It's called the 8 Sleep. And confession, it is very expensive. I do recommend it, and I'm not paid to say this. But although I love the product, I do not love the digital app that goes along with it. They make the same mistake that most apps make when it comes to data visualization. So today we'll talk about what that is, and I'll provide some ideas for how to fix that mistake. But first, let's talk about sleep. So sleep is like a magic pill. It solves everything. It helps with your memory, it helps with your brain health, it helps with your creativity, it helps with your appetite control, your hormonal regulation. My gosh, it's just, we should all be getting more of this magic little pill. And 8 Sleep solves one of the major variables when it comes to improving your sleep, which is temperature regulation. So it's basically a mattress pad that you put on your full mattress, and you can control the temperature. You can, and you can see it in the app right now, you can basically make the temperature go low, -1, -2, -3 is frigid, or you can make it go high and it becomes like a heating pad to like keep you warm on those cold nights. And the kind of hack for myself and Phil actually said, hey, look, we need to solve our temperature incompatibility. And I was skeptical. I said, maybe. And he's like, no, we really do need to solve this. And although he pushed it, I became a convert. I really like it. I don't like sleeping anywhere that doesn't have an 8 Sleep. It just makes my sleep way better. But then I log into the app and I'm just not a fan of the app. Like, okay, so the basic stuff it does, which is like plus or minus, great. That's the main functionality. Turn it frigid or turn it up. But then every morning I can see my sleep score. So this is a sleep score. It breaks it off into quality, routine, and time slept. And they make the same mistake that every data visualization app makes, which is it's backward looking. It tells me about my past. So in order for me to interpret this, and let's go to, I slept terrible on Sunday. In order for me to interpret this, I would have to understand what these numbers meant, evaluate what I would have to do to improve. And it seems like, okay, yeah. So I went to bed at 1:30 and got up at 7-ish. And I would have to figure that out from like my little detectiveness and then make a plan as to what to do in the future. And this is difficult. Why? Because like most things that are behavior change, if you have lots of steps, not just logistical ones, but in this case, cognitive ones, I have to figure out what's going on and then I have to make a plan to improve it. And then I have to actually do it. People are less likely to do it. And so we found this out via budgeting. So we worked with a large scale fintech app. We ran a budgeting experiment. And it turns out that when we did multiple types of budgeting, that there was no change in behavior for people who set a budget. Wow. Why? Budgeting again is backwards looking. This is telling me that I spent $50 of my $75 budget and I have 3 weeks left to go. It doesn't help me make a decision about should I go out to eat tonight? Should I pack my lunch? And so the most likely thing is I figure out like what I should do is that I close the app and I don't do anything, right? So backward looking things, especially for people who need it the most because you have you went over budget or you have a low sleep score, it's really important to help me figure out what to do next. Otherwise, this is just depressing. I'm logging in. Imagine I had a sleep score like this multiple nights in a row. I'm logging in like this is now going to turn into information aversion where, when you step on a scale and you don't like the number, it's not going to motivate you to step on the scale again. So it's not going to motivate me to open the app if my sleep score is consistently bad. And so the people who need a forward-looking versus backward-looking UI are the people who need it the most, the one with low scores, right? Maybe it's that if I'm getting a 97, I want to log in to see if I can get a 98, but I'm not the person they should sell for tonight. We need to help the people who need it. And so the good news is this is possible. This is feasible. Think about all the things that you could give me to do if I get this sleep score. You could say, hey, Kristen, do you want to set a reminder to go to bed earlier tomorrow? Great. Hey, Kristen, do you want to like buy a sleep mask? Because maybe there's light getting in. Hey, Kristen, do you want to, I don't know, buy a book? You should calm down before bed. Let me link you out to Amazon and we'll get you some good reads, some of those popular reads, right? There's lots of things, earplugs, lots of things, actions that I could take And you can even imagine little experiments, little challenges that I could try to figure out how to improve my sleep. This is giving somebody hope and change. It's giving me some action. It's giving me a reason to come back and see if my sleep score has changed. And I think sometimes when we think about these suggestions, it's like apps like, well, I don't want to be too paternalistic. I'm just going to give them the information and they can go figure it out. I feel like that's an immoral way to look at your job as a product manager and a designer, because your job is actually to help. It's not just to get me to log into your app to see a score. It's to help me do the thing that I hired you for, which is, in this case, sleep better. So check. I love it because the sleep pod is great, but if this was just an app, it wouldn't be getting me there. Right. And I'd like to reflect on generally, like, does this represent real life? And I kind of think like, look, if you're sitting with your manager, you just had a meeting, are you going to fully just talk about the past and debrief the past and talk about like, let's just talk about how that one slide went without mentioning what you do in the future, what you do tomorrow? How would you improve? No. So, these types of apps could mirror real life where, yes, you may have some insight about the past, but you would always connect that to what you want to do in the future. And so thank you, 8 Sleep, for a wonderful night's sleep. I love the mattress cover. I do recommend getting it. I do think it's worth the money, but I'm excited for a future where we can help me make changes to more of my sleep patterns. Sleep well.